Okay, so I'm here at mile 1 on my single-speed Century. My wife dropped me off in Snoqualmie. I just rode up a little bit of a hill with a fully loaded bike, and this is where the Snoqualmie Valley Trail starts or ends, depending on which way you're going. There's my trusty steed. More to come later. It's supposed to be a beautiful day. I left my arm warmers at home. I've got a rain jacket in case it happens. I've got all sorts of stuff. I've never done this on a single speed before, so we'll see. It should be a great day. Okay, we're almost 20 miles in. I'm in Duval. Take a quick break to text my wife and let her know I'm okay. And then I have to go up this road and take this bridge across the Snoqualmie River and then ride up on some bumfuck roads to Snoqualmie. Okay, so I managed to make it to Snoqualmie without getting creamed on the back roads by a dual axle pickup. And now I'm on the Centennial Trail. It starts in Snoqualmie and goes up to Briar, I believe. So I've been on this trail about, I don't know, 7 miles now, so rolling along. We're at mile 43. Still on the Centennial Trail. Not a lot of northbound traffic. The wind's been very light but variable. And looks like I'm about to roll over 50. No one cares, but there it is. Conway, about mile 75 plus. This is the Conway Church on Fur Island. I just crossed the mighty Skagit River. Well, my timing's bad. We're 87 miles, and these are tulip fields. You might be able to see a little bit of color out there. For the most part, the tulips have bloomed and the tourists are gone, thankfully. But they head to the tulips, which causes the bulbs to mature or some horticulture, and then they sell the bulbs. I don't know if you can hear me, but we're on the top of the twin bridges that span the Snoqualmie Channel. Back there, that's the Salish Delta. That direction is the Skagit River Delta. Those are the beginnings of the San Juans, and that's Fidalgo Island, where I live in Anacortes. I hope you can hear me. I've taken a lot of pictures from this spot. This is precisely 10 miles from my house. So I ride here, ride back, that's 20 miles. It's pretty flat, but it's a beautiful ride. Herons, what's so great about them? I think they're mediocre at best. They're like flying snakes. It's the next day after I rode 100 miles on my single speed bicycle. and I thought maybe I'd summarize some of the things I learned, things I experienced, real quick. If all in all, single speed was not a bad choice. I felt it didn't hinder me in any way. What it did was it prevented me from riding too fast and burning up my reserves too fast, and then bonking and having a shitty experience and having to quit and being dissatisfied with myself and hanging my head in shame and all those things that the single speed limits you from yourself. So, I could spin up to 15 miles an hour or so and then coast for a while when it was easy or flat or downhill. So actually, I don't think the single speed made it harder. I think it made it easier. I wanted to do 12 and a half miles per hour on average rolling time. I wound up doing 12.8. I was a little faster in the beginning, and predictably I slowed down. But the single speed wasn't an issue. Not being able to shift was never a problem, and I crafted this route to not be super hilly. It has some rolling terrain, which is good. You ride up and then you coast down. Getting to the top of the hill is always a challenge on a single speed. Getting down takes care of itself. What else? I prehydrated really well, before I started the ride. I drank 5 very large bicycle water bottles during the 100 miles, and I never peed, never once. So that moisture was coming out my skin and, out my lungs over 100 miles. That's a lot of water. That's a gallon and a half, maybe. Maybe not quite that. Maybe a gallon and a quarter. A lot of water. Lots of food. I had not a big breakfast, but I had a breakfast. During the ride, I had a couple bananas. I had 2 or 3 not power bars, 2 or 3 Cliff bars, 2 or 3 packs of Fig Newtons. I made a really nice peanut butter and jelly sandwich, which I had about 2/3 of the way through. I also used 1 tablet of Nuun, N-U-U-N, electrolytes, like in my 3rd water bottle. And goddamn, that tastes really good. About 2 water bottles in, where was I? I was about 50, 60 miles, somewhere in there. And that really tasted good. What else? Single speed bike. Nothing really that mechanically can go wrong on that bike. And, I still had spare tube, all the stuff, to get home. I have chain links. I have a quick link. And most of that is actually to help other people that I might find on the trail who need help. But, I had a multi-tool, and I was prepared, and I didn't expect problems, but being prepared, I didn't have any. What else? The weather was perfect. It didn't rain. The winds were light. They were a little variable. So sometimes they pushed you, sometimes they hindered you. Weekday, wasn't a lot of people on the multi-use trails. First 20 miles were the first 10 miles were downhill. Which was, just the way it worked. I just wanted to find a 100-mile route from point A to my home. So it worked out that Snoqualmie, which is right off the I-90, is 100 miles away. So other things. I had to ride, half of it was on trails that didn't have any cars. The first 20 miles was Snoqualmie Valley Trail, which is gravel, very well packed gravel, very firm. Any road bike can handle that. And then I rode 16 miles on back roads to Snohomish and got on the Centennial Trail, which is a paved rail trail. It's about 30 miles long. So half the ride was on roads. The 16 miles between the Snoqualmie Valley Trail and the Centennial Trail was kind of backwoods, bumfuck, narrow, shoulderless
farm roads. But I had a mirror on my helmet. I had a safety pizza on the back of my bike. I had a flashing light. And between those three things, I felt like I could keep an eye on what was happening behind me, and I felt like I was doing a good job of alerting people that, hey, there's a fucking bicyclist in front of you. Don't hit them. Anyway, it was easy. The 100 miles is not a big thing. So, I rode 62 miles a month and a half ago on my birthday, or yeah, and then I did 50 miles in the Singlespeed a couple weeks ago, and doing 100 miles was just a long day on a bike I like riding. So I've had this bike for 17 years. It fits me really well. I know what my comfort issues are on the bike, and they're the same on all my bikes. I've got a grumpy shoulder. My right foot gets a little numb after a while. I mean, blah blah blah. It doesn't get worse once it starts. So at mile 20, if your shoulder starts to hurt, it's probably not going to hurt any worse at mile 90. It's just going to hurt, So I took some ibuprofen during the ride, and muscled through. So 100 miles, I might take a couple days off, but I would do it again soon if someone said, "Hey, let's do it," because it's more a psychological barrier than it is really an actual physical limitation of your body. And I'm 57 years old, and I'm not an Uber athlete. I just like riding bikes, and I'm not a sprinter. I'm a long distance guy. So whatever. Anyway, I hope this was informative, and thanks for going with me on my little journey.